Celestial awakening, divine mindful afternoon, and grand night to the beautiful deity watching this video, to divine reflection, divine messenger, and we are back with another mindful message. Now, the thing is, too, it is, so 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so yeah, 8 o'clock over here, and as you can see, my badge is packed, about to get ready to go to a different location, and I ain't gonna lie, I want to say, too, with London, bro, y'all drinks, it's marvelous. I ain't gonna lie, USA really can't compete in that department. I will give y'all that, but if you choose when you enjoy these videos, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more divine messages. Now I wanted to go and create this message real quick just to stay consistent, because I was tired from the tour yesterday. I wasn't even in the hotel room. We were just out and a whole different location. But for this part, this is shout out to PTND as well for the second question. Now, before we did your first question, now we're in the second part, and you asked what music should we listen to. I feel like most artists are sellouts nowadays. And the one thing that, oh shit. Okay. I was making sure I had my notes because I was like, what? Now, the one thing I realized as well, it's not the artist or the talent or the vibration that they are emitting, emitting from the, I would say, the stance that they are being in when they're in the booth, because a lot of times these beings that are in the booth, they know what they're doing and the intention behind it. And the thing is as well, we can go down that whole rabbit hole of like what music that you should listen to, because if I'm gonna be honest, the only music that you should be listening to is just, honestly, because all type of music, even with a beat or a frequency, that's still going to be satanic. But what is satanic to an observer in a aspect of consciousness, to an infinite manner of a void that the human mind will never be able to talk about? When it comes down to that mindset, as we're perceiving what's internally inside of a black cube's ideology through a holographic illusion. And this holographic illusion, we gotta understand too that we're always living in a vibrational state that seems to be linear, but it's non-linear outside of quantum physics. Now, I understand as well, it's not the artist that's setting the tone with the music, it's the being hearing the tone being set through the sound that they are listening or feeling or thinking in or thinking on. And I do agree with you. All artists that are in the music industry, they are sellouts, because obviously they gave their morals up for a dollar bill to maintain their bills. Not only that though, but to maintain this image of being an artist or a musician, producer, whatever they want to call themselves. This is just a path that they are walking on. Now, of course, a lot of times as well, the being is not actually in the booth coming up with just lyrics or sounds that are going to radiate high vibrations towards you, or high vibrancy towards you, depending on who they are and who the being is. Because there are some beings that, I'm not gonna say they're bad at, good or bad in selling out, whatever the case may be, but they are indicating to themselves like it's important for the listener to appeal themselves or appeal to themselves on how they should be operating in life and what they should be doing to maneuver around the vibrations of what music is playing into their ear. Now, the notes I had that a lot of times the beings will use in order to get you into a dumb frequency that people may be dumbed down to, because the thing is to listen to music or vibrations that are high in, I would say, appearance or radiation. When I say radiation, listen to 432, listen to 999, 743. Now, most songs don't have that. Now, that's where you got to pick and choose, because you don't got to play the lyrics. You can play the instrumental if you choose to. That's still music, but it has no sound besides the vibration being played in the background, because the lyrics are the ones that, any lyric in general or any form, that's being formulated into a demonic frequency. So it's like, people can bash, rap, for example, or rock and roll, jazz, R&B, whatever, even gospel music. All these things are correlated to Satanism, because it's the fact that you're singing and you're praising or you're giving out a message that may have a negative intention. It could be positive, but why are you singing to a title and calling it gospel? That's literally a God spell. That's literally a Luciferian spell for light bearers to start casting into a church or a choir. That's exactly why when you go to church and you hear people singing and shit like that, why are we singing to a title? When a title is not called God nor a name. How are we naming an infinite creator that literally does not need you to sing to it? If we're singing to God, that means that God is singing to itself. That's already narcissistic and contradicting as well. Because if we're partially the creator physically, why are we singing to a being that we can't even fucking see? Not only that, the being does not need your sound to be pleased. It's already pleased with how you're living in divinity right now in the frequency. I can play rap music, because I do enjoy listening to rap music, but I don't sit there and let the 808s or the binaural beats distract me from my purpose, or what I'm going to be successful in. I use rap music, like for example, I can evade from the lyrics. I can let the lyrics play in the background, but they won't affect me. Now, of course, the subconscious mind, it'll be affected, but I can remove that parasitic force through the music, and I can use that to enhance what I want to do for today. Because I basically put the beat in front of the lyrics, so it's like the lyrics are just background noise, with the vibration of the instrumental is what I'm basically focused on. But that comes with just dealing with alchemy when it comes to music. It's like you have to actually alchemically control the mind into ignoring the lyrics. Now, you may like the lyrics, but if you're thinking deep within the vibration of that sound, you're not just listening to the song anymore. You are basically hearing your thoughts on the beat, because your thoughts are on that beat. And when they're sending out certain messages, they're trying to see how unconscious you are to the knowing of what they are rapping or singing about. So 808s will hit your lower chakras, your desires, your urges. Not only that, these things keep you grounded into being instinctual or wanting to gravitate towards your lower instincts, because that's where people are ended up, or going to be ended up in fear, being in survival, etc. So when these things happen, they're putting you in a trance-like state. So 808 beats are making you, fearful or anxious about what's going to happen, or nervous, or you may fear, what your next move will be, or you're looking for survival. It's like you wouldn't roll up and pull up on somebody and shoot them playing Erykah Badu or Janet Jackson or Michael Jackson. No, you want to play something that's hard body, because you're trying to eliminate this person's solar awareness. And that's exactly why, too, the melodies and the loops are repetitive. So not only that, the beats or the lyrics that are repetitive, these are variations that are putting the brain into alpha and the theta state of mind. And thing is too, these states of minds that are in our brain, they are using these different states of mind to keep us in hypnosis, to the point to where now the state that we're in, we can't meditate on, we can't be mindful in, because our mind is in a hypnosis or a trance-like state of mind, to the point to where we have to go out to the club and wear this designer or look like this to please this woman. We have to go to work or even sell your morals to get a certain crowd to want to be around you or be admirable of your lyrics or your craft. Basically, when you're introduced to this craft and you're working for these higher ups, you're going to be their puppet now on the string. Because of that, the loops that these beings will put you in a string on, they're going to mirror how you're thinking about with your emotions. And the thing is too, the things that provoke your emotions, you'll put them into a song. So not only that, when they're put into a song and you listen to it, now it's keeping your mind in a repetitive loop that's dark. Not only that, it reflects their mood onto you. However they're feeling, because they're not really feeling a certain way, because they actually don't have a solar awareness to begin with, because they're manufactured beings. Because these beings are manufactured, how is a song being portrayed into your life? If you can reflect a positive note or mindset onto this song out into the world, then the being who's playing that lyric inside of your ear is causing your mind to constantly believe that this mood that you're listening to is accepted. When you accept that mood or that frame of mind that you're listening to, you will constantly sit there and now your subconscious mind is sitting there watching you listening to this sound, and then the ego will be like, oh well, because my observation accepts it, so I'm going to accept it as well. Now, the thing is too, if you're not aware of your instincts, then you'll instinctually put yourself into a dark place of your mind to the point where you can't even get out no more. That's exactly why these isochronic tones and binaural beats are placed in our perception for us to be, not to be, but to remain unconscious. And I think it's too, a lot of producers, they will put subtle frequencies that are going to sink into a brainwave for your mindset, because you won't be aware of it. And when they're putting these synchronicities into a vibration that you're listening to, you're not aware of the beat actually causing you to stay in a lower way of being in your urges for your lower self. Not only that, this could be an addiction to track or mentally be open to a suggestion, into being open-minded to a different thought that you can't process. Even like with the whole inversion being pushed out, a lot of these beings that are actually inverted are making great songs that have great quality, and the beings that relate to it, they're pushing these things out and they're accepting that behavior because that's all their ego knows. Their ego is watching their own reflection, and then when they feel a certain mood to that reflection, they start to accept that manipulation, because that one phrase that they have said that they can relate to is played on this loop of melodies. So the melodic frequency that's being placed into a synchronicity or vibration for the what's it called? The isochronic tune, that's what helping them remain unconscious, because the producer is also a part of the whole entire scheme as well. So it's not just the handler or the ghostwriter, but the producer, the lyricist, all these people that are behind closed doors, they are doing everything they can to keep you stuck in a lower way of thinking or singing or feeling with the song being felt inside of your subconscious mind. Now, the one thing too, I want to combine these. So auto tune with vocals, and I think it's too the delay and the reverb for the vocals. So a lot of times with the auto tune, for example, they give you that heavenly feeling. Not only that, it'll stimulate your emotional experience while going through a spiritual experience as well. And because of that, your brain will think that it's connecting to a divine manner when you hear that heavenly tune, like when a person's singing or whatever, somebody rapping. They have that voice that makes you feel euphoric as you sit back and just let the music just play in your head. But because of that, you don't understand what they're actually doing to you, because they're actually reversing your ideologies that are keeping you beneficial to having a beneficial life for your future. But if you're sitting back on the thoughts for a bad day and you hear this sound that you're not aware of, then that bad day will only enhance to a worse day for tomorrow, because that song may help you release from what you're going through. But when you wake up, those problems that you're running from through that song will still be right in front of your face, because of course you're too stuck in divinity that actually can't reach to you, because you're not divine within your own manner by finding your own sound that you can be in tune with. And not only that, the low BPM, the tempo. So a lot of times songs around 60 to 75 point BPM. And the thing is too, that matches your heart rate, and it helps sync your body to a rhythm that can put you in a more calm and a more mental state of mind, a more calm sense of being with your own self. But because of that too, though, we gotta understand as well, with those low tempo beats or whatever, that's obviously a parasitic force or entity or specimen that we can't even see. If you're feeling calm or subtle within your mental state of mind, that's going to cause you to not want to work harder when you're sitting down with yourself by following your own heart rate into being better with your heart's rate of mind, because your heart has a mind as well. But if your mind is being calm to what the beat is playing inside of itself, then you won't be aware of how your heart is actually radiating from what it's actually listening to. And because of that, a lot of times too, even with 440 hertz, so these dark energies or frequencies, they'll use these things because they trigger the subconscious mind's desires and its fears. And the thing is too, people are locked into the materialistic world, lust, lust, desires, fears, and they feel as if they don't have what other beings want, they can't fit in. That's exactly why the dark energies are placed into these different songs. So I would suggest you play R&B, jazz, you can play whatever. Honestly, I don't have a genre to really give to you to listen to, because it doesn't really matter. It's all satanic. If it has words in it, it's all satanic practices anyway, or Luciferianism. On top of that, that's kind of the whole point of why the music industry is so prominent, because they want you to believe as if like these songs are going to help you. They're actually not going to help you. Now, of course, they can motivate you, but it determines on your outlook with the song being played. The song can determine how you look at life, with the motivation you have into being better with that sound being played in the background. So sometimes I play music in the background just to help me with a great video for y'all to see. That's why I use music. I use music as a leverage to uplift myself. So I don't sit there and play music just to like listen to it. No. If I'm infatuated with a beat or there's like an artist behind the beat, it's like, okay, I'll give it a listen. I may like it or whatever. I may post it on Instagram, for example. But I use songs as inspiration to help you be inspired by your own tuning. So if you can't tune into your own vibrations, then what vibration are you actually being in tune with? Have a great divine day, divine reflection.